As we told you earlier, Arkansas and Indiana dialing back now the wording on the controversial religious freedom bills after Indiana Governor Mike Pence was criticized for signing a law opponents said discriminated against people over their sexual orientation. Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson hasn't signed the bill yet in his state and is already looking now to make changes and avoid the same backlash, including from his own family.
There is clearly a generational gap on this issue. My son Seth signed the petition asking me, Dad, the governor, to veto this bill. And he gave me permission to make that reference.
So, on today's Power Panel, Kristen Ruby, CEO of Ruby Media Group, a PR and social media agency, attorney Deborah Blum, and Jillian Melchior, a reporter for the National Review. Ladies, great to have you here, especially with your expertise from writing columns to law to PR. So let me start with PR, Kristen. For Mike Pence, can he retrieve any kind of good faith with his constituents and the rest of the country from the PR that's happened with this bill?
I think this is a total PR nightmare. I really think this is a lose-lose situation for him. I don't see how he can fix this at this. I think preventative measures would have been better on, especially with his handlers. But I also think if there's truly bigotry in his heart, I don't see what PR person could really help that or come in and fix it at this point.
We don't know that. We know that he has certainly said in many press conferences and appearances that he does not believe in discrimination. I should also mention that Governor Perry has tweeted out from Texas, "I stand with Governor Pence." I think a lot of other Republican candidates so far have said similar things. Candidates for president, we haven't heard from Rand Paul and Chris Christie yet. From a legal point of view, Deborah, is it interesting to you that the law now in Arkansas, he's not even going to sign it until they go back and make changes?
Well, what's interesting to me is that this RFRA proposal that has been passed in Indiana and is proposed to be passed in Arkansas is a tool to allow for discrimination.
I disagree.
Basically, it's taking a neutral law and it's making a proposal that's going to discriminate against gays, and companies, private companies, can not choose to service gay couples.
No,
yeah.
but
Jillian, what do you think about that?
I don't think that's what that does. And to the PR point, I think that this gets at the fundamental messaging problem. I mean, this is not a new law. This is something that 19 states have passed. Been enacted on a federal level since 1993.
There are differences, though. I want to be clear. Earlier in the show, we pointed out some of the differences.
I mean, you're living in a country where we respect rights, and sometimes those rights conflict or appear to conflict. And I think this law provides a framework for judges to weigh that. Now, if we look at through precedent how that's been applied, it's come down almost all the time on the favor of gay couples. It's come down that state interest in non-discrimination is bigger than religious interest in this case. So I think it's a big PR problem that it's being interpreted this way, but not necessarily what it does.
So speaking of PR, what's going to happen to the other 19 states that have already passed similar laws?
Honestly, I'm not sure what's going to happen to them. I mean, I think they're also probably going to have to relook at this.
Well, we have to look at Hobby Lobby, which came out, was a private company that said to the government, we don't approve of you telling us that we need to provide our employers with contraceptives or morning after pill. And the Supreme Court agreed with them. So now we're looking at it in another context. We're looking at it in the terms of like same-sex rights. But this could be used in discrimination in all contexts. What if somebody wants to go to work wearing a burqa and their employer doesn't agree to it? You can apply this in so many different ways. So the states might have to amend what they already have on the books. But a lot of the states' laws mimic the federal law, not the actual, like, as far out there as Arkansas and Indiana want to go.
Jillian, 10 seconds.
Yeah, as somebody who supports both gay rights and religious freedom, I think this is a problem of intolerance against religious ideas. You should have the right to be, think what you want, even if it's controversial, and you should have the right to be wrong.
And it could be a messaging problem, which brings us full circle to public relations, which I talked about earlier in my take. Ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What if you could just push a little button in your house and it would pre-order or reorder a product that you need or you want? We're going to talk about that. And mysterious blueprints at the Playboy Mansion showing tunnels from celebrity homes to the mansion? So on this April Fool's Day, we ask, is that real? Or is that a hoax? Or is it a dream?